Hey guys, today we're gonna have a not so funny video, so hope you enjoy. We're gonna do a bit of a different video today. It's about PragerU, and if you haven't heard of PragerU before, they're a fantastic organization. They're this non-profit, I think, org that basically makes YouTube videos under the guise of being some kind of educational university, where they make short videos that are typically right-wing centered and try to lecture about super complex topics in 5 minutes. The arguments are usually very sourceless and very surface level and very generalized, so they don't make much sense. But because they have fancy graphics and they're, a little 21st century, it looks a little bit like a crash course video if you ever watched those. But once you scratch the surface of them, you see that usually the claims are unsubstantiated, dead wrong, and oftentimes the meaning behind the videos is a bit more sinister than initially lets on. So we're gonna have a look at two of their videos today. They're two of their shorter videos in the interest of time, because this intro is already taken way too long. But yeah, let's get right into it. So this first video is called Tucker Carlson Explains Illegal Immigration in 2 minutes. So, legal immigration, it's a pretty easy topic to talk about. 2 minutes is definitely enough time to break it down. But yeah, here we go. So let's see what Tucker Carlson has to say about illegal immigration. So first things first, they start off by, showing some intimidating footage of, people crossing a border. And this footage, as far as I can tell, is from an event in 2018 where police were breaking up protests, which caused a rush. Anyways,
there were still liberals who cared about the economic effects of immigration, legal or illegal.
So basically here, Tucker Carlson is making the argument that since people had one political argument 15 years ago, people are not able to reevaluate their own opinions and change their minds about a topic. Yes, because 20 years, almost a full generation, is not enough time for someone to think about a topic, change their mind on it, and then, reevaluate their decisions. Also, not going to point this out every time, but obviously these videos never source anything, so all these claims, if you take them at surface level, even then they tend to be pretty wrong. But I'm sure if you scratch in a little deeper, there's typically a much larger context to these that aren't always reported. And we'll get into that when he gets into his reasoning later.
So what changed? Not the economics of it. The law of supply and demand remained in effect. It's not a coincidence that as illegal immigration surged, wages for American workers stagnated.
So there are multiple layers of wrong with Tucker's statement here, and I think there are three main ones. So the first one is that he doesn't source this argument, so we have no idea whether or not this is really true. The second is that the sole possible source for this argument from the Center for Immigration Studies that talks about the wages of immigration from 1998 claims that immigration has caused this stagnation, but it doesn't make the argument that illegal immigration has caused this, but both illegal and legal immigration has caused this. So it's already a manipulation of that fact, and they state that this association does not imply a solution to the problem, but is instead just a statement. But if we look at more recent studies, such as this one from an actual conservative think tank called Cato Institute from 2017, it shows that there's actually virtually no effect on the stagnation of lower skilled wages from immigration. And in fact, there are other reasons that contribute to these, and that regression models don't actually show significant decrease or even stagnation due to immigration. So lots of layers to unpack, but yeah, I just thought I should spend some time talking about that.
What changed is that Democrats stopped caring about those workers, about the middle class, really. Why?
Again, another not very sourced argument there, but let's have a look at his reasons.
Here's the answer in 4 simple facts.
Simple facts.
According to a recent study from Yale, there are at least 22 million illegal immigrants living in the United States.
Okay, so that first argument is dead wrong. If we go to the Migration Policy Institute, an organization that deals exclusively with migration policy and all things related to that, there are an estimated 11 million unauthorized immigrants in the U.S. As of 2016. That's half the number Tucker Carlson is stating. That's insane. That's a huge difference. And obviously, this fact's completely not sourced. Also, they show this fancy little graphic map that shows immigrants all over the place when they mention right here that it's, almost half of them are in California, Texas, New York. So this map is straight up wrong, and so is the claim. Anyways.
2. Democrats plan to give all of them citizenship. Read the Democrats' 2016 party platform.
So I did read the platform, and if we have a look here, you can see that really it's not that claim at all. What it's claiming is that people who, did break the law and that they came in illegally or overstayed their visas, but then have not broken any single law since then, should have an easier time to get their visas because, they've obviously proven that they're not, dangerous criminals or anything. That's really all it says is that, refugees or people who have gotten here illegally, and obviously that was legal, but besides that, have not broken the law in any sort of way, should be, more easily allowed to stay because they have shown that they're not bad people. So I don't know. Yeah, that's really all it says. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
3. Studies show the overwhelming majority of first-time immigrant voters vote Democrat.
Okay, first of all, I don't know where that study's coming from. They obviously never that's just such an easy phrase to say. Studies show. Like, you can say studies show anything. Actually, again on that point, it's actually, according to the Pew Research Center, only 31% of unauthorized immigrants identify as Democrat, and 23% lean towards Democrat.
4. The biggest landslide in American presidential history was only 17 million votes. Do the math.
So let's do that math. According to Tucker, you have 22 million unauthorized immigrants. All of them are voting, and most of them are voting Democrat. So, let's say 17 million, 20 million. So that's greater than 17 million. But let's do the actual math. So we're going to start with 11 million, the correct number of unauthorized immigrants, and then half that, because of first-gen immigrants, only half, or 53%, actually vote. And then we half that again, considering that only about 50% are considering voting Democrat. And you end up with a nice little number of 2.75 million rather than, the 20 or 22 million that Tucker is claiming. So there's just a huge number inflation here that's just meant to scare people and scare them into thinking in a certain way, which really sucks.
The payoff for Democrats? Permanent electoral majority for the foreseeable future. In a word, power. That's the point, no matter what they tell you.
So here, Tucker makes the claim that it's all about power and stuff, and then he says that no matter what they tell you, it's about power. So not only is he making this weird claim about taking power of the government, which we've just shown isn't really possible because the numbers don't work out, but also, no matter what, he claims to be this man of reason, and then immediately goes to say that no matter what people tell you, whether they back it up with facts or not, you shouldn't change your mind, and that rationality shouldn't be considered. So I don't know. It's just a huge fear tactic that's trying to use all these maths to try and show something, but we've already seen that there's nothing really to be shown. So let's move on to the next video. So this video is called "Can You Go a Day Without Fossil Fuels?" and it has a little bit less to unpack than the first one we watched, but I think it's still just as sleazy in its approach. And so it presents itself as this PragerU video, supposed to be non-profit, educational, whatever. But if we look at the description here, It's sponsored by a thing called LifePowered, and if we go to the LifePowered website, we can see that it's actually a project funded by the Texas Public Policy Foundation, basically just promote and plug fossil fuels. So it's definitely a biased source because, you know, it's in support of fossil fuels. So basically this video is a huge ad for fossil fuels, sponsored by a project that is made to promote fossil fuels, and it's presented under this guise of being some educational video. So let's have a look. And I'm just gonna skip the first part here. Basically, it's just, how essential are fossil fuels to our lives? And as you can see, it just shows all the different things that use fossil fuels in the world, and it has this upbeat rock music to say, like, wow, look, fossil fuels are so cool, look at them, they're so neat. But really all this is saying is, I don't know, it's not even really making an argument. It's just by using this happy music, it's trying to say that, like, you know, you use fossil fuels in everything, so if they went away, then there's no way we could find anything else to possibly make these materials and devices out of. You know, that'd be absolutely impossible. And it's just a really dumb argument. It's that argument that, you know, that you're a hypocrite because you criticize the society that you're a part of. And it's like, oh, like, you can't say anything about fossil fuels because look at all the fossil fuels that you use in your life, you know? And it really doesn't make much sense, because you could take this very same video and put horror music over it or something weird and suspenseful, and you could make the argument that, wow, look how huge of an impact fossil fuels have in our life. That's terrifying, and we're killing the world at a much faster rate than any of us could have ever imagined. So, you know, it's all a matter of how you really set up the tone of the video. And actually, I did that. So I went ahead and I put suspenseful music over this video, and you'll see what it gives. For the record, that turned out 500% times more funny than I thought it was going to. But yeah, you get the point. Basically, this video doesn't show anything. It appeals to emotion alone, using only the music and the happy stuff that it includes to try and convince you that fossil fuels are a good thing. And PragerU does this a lot, where they use happy graphics or happy music or a happy tone to try and convince you that what they're saying isn't semi-horrifying to hear. So yeah, that's really all I had to say. That, and it's a huge ad. So I know that was pretty different from what I usually make, but yeah, I just hate seeing these PragerU ads everywhere and knowing that this is such like a sleazy company or organization or whatever that's trying to like sell this propaganda to people through advertising. So yeah, it wasn't very funny at all, but except for that last part maybe. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that motherfucking like button, and subscribe and stuff. But yeah, see you guys later.